Hello, I'm Nate Eaton with EastIdahoNews.com. We continue our East Idaho Elects series. Today we are speaking with 4 men who hope to be elected to the Fremont County Commissioner. There are 2 different races. For District 2, we have LeRoy Miller and Larry Singleton. And for District 3, we have Val Hammond and Jordon Stoddard. Mr. Stoddard is currently the chairman of the Fremont County Commission. Mr. Miller serves on the board as well. Each of you will get 60 seconds to give an opening statement, followed by 5 different questions. Mr. Miller, we will start with you.
Okay, thank you, Nate. It's a privilege to come and visit with you today. I'm a lifelong resident of Fremont County, lived there for 69 years. I love Fremont County. It's been a great place to live. I've had the opportunity to serve in positions in the county. I've served for 13 years on the South Fremont Fire Commission. It gave me an opportunity to learn and understand budgets. And I've served for the last 7.5 years as a Fremont County Commissioner, 2 of which has been a commission chairman. I've raised my family there. It's a great place to live. I love to serve the people. It's not something that I want to be able to say I'm a professional politician. I'm not. I'm a person who loves people and loves to be able to serve and honor the people that are there.
Mr. Singleton.
Thank you, Nate. It's a pleasure to be here today and introduce ourselves. I'm Larry Singleton, and I'm running for District 2 also. I'm 61 years old. I've lived in Fremont County all my life. I went to school there. I attended South Fremont High School and graduated from South Fremont and attended Idaho State University. I'm married to Robin Browning, and we've been married 36 years, and we have 7 children, 5 boys and 2 girls. We have 10 grandchildren, and 1 more on the way in July. And all my children, they live and work in the area down there. I currently farm in the St. Anthony area. I'm a self-employed farmer and rancher, and we run a cow-calf operation in Fremont and Clark County out in the Kilgore area. I would like to serve the good people of Fremont County as their county commissioner. I can bring new ideas and experience and leadership to the office on there. I've had served 6 years on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and served as president and on the board of directors of several livestock and irrigation groups on there.
Mr. Hammond.
Nate, thank you. My name's Val Hammond. I reside in Fremont County. I appreciate the opportunity of East Idaho News to have this forum. I live in Fremont County, have all of my life except for 2 years. My wife Marta and I have 4 children. All of them live in the area. They all have bachelor's degrees in well educated and well married, to have great families. We're grateful to have them around. Grateful for the opportunity to run as county commissioners. I believe the people of Fremont County deserve a choice, and grateful to participate in that experience. I've been in production agriculture all of my life, and currently farm and ranch in the Parker area. Serve in many capacities in the county, and have the leadership to look to the future.
And Mr. Stoddard.
Thank you, Nate, for having us here. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you folks, because I have served as a Fremont County Commissioner for 5+ years. Currently, I'm the chairman. My business was, I was in the construction business all my life, and I had a door shop that a door manufacturing business, I would say, that I had, and I have closed the doors on that so that I can spend my time as the Fremont County Commissioner. I take pride in the relationship that I have with the other elected officials, department heads, and employees. When there's a project going on in Fremont County on the roads or whatever, I try to be there. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Chairman Stoddard, we will start with you for our first question. Why are you the most qualified person for the job?
Well, one thing I would say is that I've been there for five plus years, and it really takes a while to get you know, to learn the job and to learn about county government. I am really feel like that I am connected with the people in Fremont County. I listen and I try to resolve any kind of problem that they would have. We, you know, we're just always there. We let people know that we're open for any discussion that they need. Our meetings are open meetings, and we encourage people to attend if they have anything they would like to discuss with us or whatever. So we feel like as commissioners, we have a great relationship with the public.
Thank you. And Mr. Hammond.
I appreciate the opportunity to run for the office. I feel like I am qualified for the office of County Commissioner. Growing up on the farm and working on the farm and ranch, you develop a lot of logic skills in order to solve problems. I work well with people and would like to see some changes as far as what we can offer the people of Fremont County as far as working with problems and trying to find solutions to those problems rather than just turning a deaf ear and sometimes getting people mad and going into the court system. I think that we can find logical solutions to the problems that we face and together work together and work for the future.
Mr. Singleton.
Well, I've lived in Fremont County my whole life. I've been self-employed. I've worked throughout the county. I have a lot of good relationship with the north end of the county. I've spent a lot of time in the Ashton area in the south part of the county on there, and I feel like the experience I've had in the ag industry, I think has given me a good perspective on what needs to be done. And I think we need some ag representation on the county commission board on there, and I would be glad to serve the people of Fremont County. I have the time and the experience, and I'd like to bring some new ideas and fresh leadership to the county.
Thank you very much. And Commissioner Miller.
I think through the experiences that I've had over the last 7 years, gives me great qualifications to serve as county commissioner. I sit on a lot of boards throughout eastern Idaho and with state boards on public lands, eastern Idaho Public Health. I could just name probably 8 or 9 boards, just been recently put on the board for Yellowstone Ecosystem Subcommittee dealing with the delisting of the grizzly bear. And I'm anxious to get engaged in that. It's going to be coming up soon. But I have a connection with the people of Fremont County. I have a great relationship, especially with the employees of Fremont County and department heads and the elected officials. And we work well together. We've been able to assist the Sheriff's Office in employing the Sheriff's Department with a higher income to retain those people. We listen to the needs of those good elected officials and department heads. You know, our budget in 2007 was a $19 million budget. Today it's almost $34 million. But people don't understand that in 2007 we had a $4.7 million cash carryover, cash forward that year. This last year we had a cash carryover of up to $11 million. So we've been very frugal in what we've done as commissioners in spending for Fremont County to make it fiscal solvent.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. This next question ties in with something you just mentioned. A lot of people speak about wasteful government spending. Are there areas in the budget that can be cut, and how can the county work on being more frugal?
You know, you look at the budget as a whole, and we do cut the budget. People don't understand what we do in cuts. When the budget came in 2 years ago, we were $1.4 million over the budget. We went back to the department heads and the elected officials and said, we need to trim out the wants from the needs. And they did that. And that was a great savings to the patrons of Fremont County. This last year, they came with their budget, and we was about $600,000 over the budget. We went back to the department heads and elected officials. Again, they looked at their budget and cut out the wants and the needs. So I think we're very proficient and fiscally responsible for our budget. And we got our audit this last year. When they came, we got a great rating, said we're so fiscally sound right now. We have a good, sound budget, and that's what we need to do. And we can, I think we have cut in all areas to make the budget work.
Mr. Singleton?
It's been mentioned on there, the budget is nearly, it's gone from 19 million up to 34 million. Took the first 100 years to get up to that $20 million budget, and now we're pretty near doubled it again. A lot of this budget is going on just like with what happened with the school districts. You start relying on a lot of grant money and other monies coming in from federal and state, and pretty quick your sources dry up, and we all know that there's strings attached to this money on there. And then at that point in the game, then the taxpayers are going to be asked to go back and to fund these projects on there. And this is the thing on there. In 2007, the property tax paid about 40% of the budget. Today, we're down to about 25% of the budget is all that is being paid by the property tax in the county, and the rest is made up with the rest of the money, federal, state, and grant money on there. And we need to get a handle on the spending on there, and wages and one thing or another haven't gone up as much as through the recession years on there. I know there's been years that the county employees didn't even get a raise out of the deal on there, so money is tight on there.
Mr. Hammond?
I believe that it is necessary to be physically responsible and also provide transparency for the citizens of Fremont County to understand where the budget is and what is currently being done with the budget. It's sometimes hard to get that information, and Commissioner Stoddard and Commissioner Miller know the figures probably a lot better than we do. But I think there's areas that we can do better in. If the state allows 3% increase in a county budget, and we have gone from 19 million to 34 million that's been talked about, how is that possible with a 3% increase that we're allowed at the state? The state says the county can only increase taxes 3% a year. We're talking a 70% increase from 19 million to 34 million. I don't understand how that's possible if we're only increasing our taxes by 3% a year, unless we're accepting a lot of grant money that's been mentioned as well. And grant monies can be good, but they can also, as has been mentioned, have a lot of strings attached to it as well.
Thank you. And Commissioner Stoddard?
Well, one thing I would like to address is you talk about the grant money that we accept, and there are no strings attached. We pay 7.5% of the amount of the project, and that's the only thing the county is obligated to do. You talk about, being good to farmers, and I guess my question would be to which one of the projects would you cut out? Would you cut out the Ora Bridge, which is on the Farm to Market Road, or the Salem Highway, which is farm to market? I mean, we need these monies to help us get these projects done. And as far as the budget's concerned, we have forwarded, there's $8 million that's sitting there in the sewer, the landfill, and these are fees that are not covered by taxes. So I feel like we do a great job, and we're coming into budget season now, and it'll be the same as it's been. All the elected officials and the the department heads will bring their request for budget, but then as we look through them, after we see what revenues we have, then we will go through those budgets, and they're very good to help us to get the budget balanced.
Thank you, Mr. Stoddard. We'll start with you for this next question. A lot of people on our Facebook page and elsewhere have mentioned that transparency in government at a federal and a state and local level can sometimes be a challenge. Have the commissioners been completely transparent, and how do you plan to be more transparent going forward?
Wow. I just feel like, like I say, we welcome everybody to our meetings. They're open meetings. We are transparent when you talk about, people not knowing about the budget. We have a public hearing on that budget every time. And I don't know if I've seen, I think one time we had one person come in and talk about the budget. So we are just out there for the people. And so I can't think how anybody would accuse us of not being transparent, because we are there and we deal with the people, and whatever they need, we try to answer, and we try to make the best decisions for the county and for the people of the county. We represent the people of Fremont County. Thank you.
Mr. Hammond?
I think transparency is really important in government, certainly at the national level and at the county level as well. I wouldn't propose that we reinvent the wheel and try and come up with a new or a better way of encouraging transparency. Maybe the county website would be a good place to post the county budget. A lot of people don't have time to come in. We're all trying to make a living to go through the commissioner budget hearings. They do take a period of time, but if there was a part of the county website that would post the budget or make it available to the public so that we could review it, and also to provide a place that maybe we could ask questions about the county budget or what the county commissioners are doing, I think that would be helpful too. Transparency builds trust, and if you don't have transparency, you have a lot of questions and you have a lot of distrust. And it's not that we don't trust our county commissioners. I think that's just that we can do better. So, thank you.
Mr. Singleton?
Transparency is communication, and that goes both ways. Some of my biggest backers is probably county employees who would like to see better communication, go back and forth, and have an open door policy that they can have somebody to talk to. I know the political arena, whether it's national or local on there, there's a lot of people that are dissatisfied with what happens on there. And so they get complacent and they don't take the time to follow these issues. I think we need a better communication with what's happening in there. And the only thing we get nowadays is maybe a little bit out of the newspapers, and it's been said we don't have the time to go in and sit down and follow this from day to day on there, as if we're out in working on there, the working class of people that pay a lot of the taxes in the county on there. So I think it's important on there to communicate what's happening on there, both back and forth.
And Commissioner Miller?
Yeah, I believe that Fremont County and the commissioners are very transparent. A good example of that is we had a lady walk into our office last Monday. We have a policy that you have to get on the agenda to speak, but this person had driven a long ways to voice her concerns about a road in Island Park. And Commissioner Stoddard opened the meeting up to her. We amended the agenda to allow her to speak to us and share her concerns. When we talk about transparency and the employees, well, I think we have a great relationship with the employees, and we have a program, a process that the employees go through if they have difficult decisions or questions that they have to make. They go through their supervisor first, and then they come to us. Our doors are always open. Our phones are always open. We listen to what the people have to say. We take phone calls. We return phone calls. We talk about the website. We have a great website. We do post the budget. The budget's posted every year in the newspaper, both locally, in all the local papers. We don't have a local news reporter other than Island Park News in our commissioner meeting. That's sad. I wish we had more so that the people could be more informed. But that's just the nature of the beast in there, that we just don't have somebody covered for the southern end of the county. But we are a transparent commission.
Mr. Miller, what is the biggest challenge facing Fremont County today?
I think the biggest challenge we have right now is the closure of our landfill. Department of Environmental Quality have come to us and told us we've run out of room. And in so doing, we have to make a cover over that landfill. And it's a huge amount of money. We also, in the landfill process, we have to have an assurance fund, a total of $5 million to cover the cost of closing both the St. Anthony and the Island Park landfills. Those are money that has to be set aside to appease DEQ in the process. We've built a transfer station. We're at that point. We're in the process of putting scales in, but it costs a lot of money. And we had to go to the people, and we had to do a fee increase. It was a huge increase, but it's the only way that we could do that and be able to cover the cost of recovering that landfill and allowed us to go forward. It costs a lot of money to transport garbage out to Mud Lake in the Montague area. We pay about $750 a load, which is about 22 ton per truck. We do about 20 truckloads a month. That doesn't include the trucking fees. So it's a huge process, but we know that there's going to be a time when we can reduce those fees back to the patrons of Fremont County, and there'll be a user use process at the landfill.
Mr. Singleton?
Well, we've discussed the budget on there, and like I said, landfill fees are something I've talked to a lot of people about on there. I think the people are being misled, though, to think that these landfill fees are going to go back down. We're probably double the budget on the receiving station out in St. Anthony. We haven't even started in Island Park yet, so that's going to be an ongoing expense up there. You're going to have to address operation and maintenance. That's going to be an ongoing thing for equipment and transfer out there. Fees are probably going to go up on there also, and I think that the overall picture is Fremont County residents are going to end up having to pay more fees in order to take care of their garbage on there. I know one individual in Island Park, he says his fees have doubled from $9,000 to $20,000. He's a business owner up there. And he says, my garbage is still being buried out in the landfill in Island Park. So I hope that we can get the south end kind of paid off before we have to keep asking the taxpayers for more taxes to go in and build the North Fremont one in Island Park on there.
Mr. Hammond?
I think, of course, one of the biggest challenges for Fremont County is maintaining what we have, the economic services that are available through the communities and through the county. I think it's important to maintain what we have and improve upon those. I know Governor Otter spent $500,000 for economic improvement for a business park in St. Anthony. It has one operating business in it, and the other building that went out of business, the other company has recently been purchased by a company from Idaho Falls. So we have agriculture as our basis and tourism. Those are our biggest economic drivers for Fremont County. And we need to support those industries as best that we can. I appreciate the farm to market roads that Commissioner Stoddard was talking about. Those are important. and also the roads from for tourism to the designated attraction, whether it be an island park or at the sand dunes. So those are important economic drivers. It's important that we continue to build those and look forward to the future of our county.
And Mr. Stoddard.
Well, of course, Mr. Miller touched on the landfill fees, and all of our neighboring counties have a tipping fee system on their garbage, their landfill, and so it is proven that once that tipping fee becomes, is up and running, that the landfill fee is going to be reduced because all the other counties have been able to do that. We have, I realized we had to make a huge increase on the landfill fee, but most of the people that I have talked to have said that they're okay with it, just, if we can get it reduced. Another thing I would touch on too is, we groom over 500 miles of snowmobile trail for tourists and for locals, and I really believe that helps the economy of Island Park. Well, we know it does, and also, this morning she told me they had put in several new boat docks. We just have a lot of attraction to our county for tourists.
Thank you very much. Our final question before closing statements, Mr. Stoddard, we will start with you. What's one thing or policy or procedure, something that you would change within your first year of office?
That's kind of tough for me. Of course, one thing that is an ongoing problem, and I probably shouldn't bring this up, but our development code just needs a lot of work, and we have been working with the Planning and Zoning Commissioner, and he again works with the Planning and Zoning Commission, and there are some major changes coming to our development code within the next 3 or 4 months to make it a lot more property owner friendly. One thing that we're working on hard is, probably the new developments, and of course when we passed that, we knew it was a working document and we knew it needed some work, so it's going to see some major changes. So anyway, thank you.
Mr. Hammond?
I appreciate that. I personally would like to see us as a county establish an ANRAC committee. What that acronym stands for is Agricultural and Natural Resources Advisory Committee. And what that committee does, they are charged by the county commission to work with land use problems. And they have been used effectively in different counties throughout the country. What they do is work with planning and zoning rules, regulations that are causing problems in the county. They bring all the stakeholders together. They try and come to solutions, find solutions to the problems, rather than just passing rules and regs and making people throw their hands in the air and say, I don't agree with this, I'm going to sue the county. We bring those stakeholders together and we try and find solutions to those problems rather than letting people go into the court system and go through litigation, which our county has had some experience with as far as having to pay for litigation, the city of Teton being one. So I would like to see us establish an ANRAC committee. I think it would be very effective and something that would help and benefit all of the residents of Fremont County.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes, I think the planning and zoning would be one good issue on there. I served on planning and zoning for 6 years and helped develop the development code and the comp plan back, the 2011 version. The makeup of the Planning and Zoning Commission at the time was pretty complex, and we had a real struggle in order to keep development going in Fremont County. We had a lot on there that don't want to see any development, and of course that's foolish. That's what funds the structure of Fremont County on tax base and that. But what we need to do is we need to have the commissioners oversee the planning and zoning and the planning administrator. He has way too much power to just come and go and do what he needs to do. It needs to go to public hearing. We need to have input from many users in the county, whether it's farmers or whether it's developers or engineers, whatever we have there, so that we have a good program in place that we can take care of the land issues in the county.
Thank you. And Mr. Miller.
I want to go back just a little bit to a little bit more of an open door policy. And we talk about the planning and zoning. And planning and zoning is an open door opportunity for people who want to get on the agenda and voice their opinion and concerns. We do go through the process with public hearings where they have the opportunity to share their vision and views, which is taken into consideration both by the Planning and Zoning Commission and also the county commissioners when it comes up to us. But there's another area I'd like to address besides that, and that's the relationship that we have with the cities in Fremont County. When I first became a county commissioner, we met on a yearly basis with the cities of St. Anthony, Ashton, Island Park, Teton, and New Dale and Parker, and discussed their needs. And I feel that's important. We need to have that relationship with them so that we can discuss the direction that we can help them and they may be able to help us, or if there's problems that they see, that we can work those out so that we don't have litigation. We've been fortunate in these last few years to be able to assist the cities in projects that they've done with their roads, helping them chip seal using our trucks, our equipment, and our manpower to do that. We don't charge them for anything like that. We put in a turn lane at Elk Creek by the Elk Creek service station on Yale Creek Road to create a better safety path for people coming to and from that area. And we also provide monies to the city of Ashton for their swimming pool. So those things, being engaged with the cities is so important, and that's something I'd like to see us go back to and do it on an annual basis or a semi-annual basis.
All right, thank you very much. Gentlemen, we will now give each of you 60 seconds for a closing statement. Commissioner Miller, we will start with you.
As I said before, earlier, I've served for 7 years as a commissioner in Fremont County. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Not all of it has been what you might call outside the battlefield. We've made decisions that have been incorrect. I don't believe there's been anybody that's been in a position such as this that they don't make an incorrect decision. But we've tried to correct them as we went along. I've learned and I've been engaged, and I think the experience that I've had as a commissioner, as a commission chairman, allows me to know and understand the needs of the people of Fremont County as we listen and hear what they have to say, that we are open to them. And I'd encourage people to get out and vote on May 17th, and if they feel like I'm the candidate they would like, I'd ask them to cast that vote.
Mr. Singleton?
Yeah, I'd just like to touch on one item here. We talk about city residents on there. City people, they pay property tax to the county just like the county residents do. So they deserve, some of the services too. It's not like we're just handing them a freebie. Those people pay taxes and they deserve it on there. And in closing, I would like to go ahead and encourage people to get out and vote on May 17th. And I would encourage them to cast their vote for me on there. I'd like to bring in some new ideas and fresh ideas. I don't have any ties to past commissioners as to what things that have been going on in the past. I would like to make a fresh start and listen to the county employees and the county taxpayers and citizens on there. Thank you.
Mr. Hammond?
Appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Grateful to live in such a beautiful and diverse county as Fremont County. There's people that come from all over the world to enjoy the beauties that are there. They enjoy it so much they build cabins and rent cabins and do all kinds of things to recreate in our county. We have a beautiful county and we need to enjoy it, to protect it, and to have a vision for the future and protecting, you know, the natural resources that we have there, as well as the sustainability of the land and what it provides to our county and the economic basis for it. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity to run for the office of County Commissioner. I'm grateful for our county and for all of our county leaders and their good jobs that they've been doing. So I appreciate it.
And Commissioner Stoddard.
Well, you know, I have served for a little over 5 years, and I'm chairman for the last year and 3 or 4 months, and I just feel like that it takes a while to learn what's going on in county government. You know, people who are wanting the job are making statements that they really don't know exactly what they're talking about. So anyway, I just feel like the main thing that I am really proud of is the relationship I have with the other elected officials and the department heads and the employees. I've been out and I've worked alongside the employees, and I've not heard any complaints about how they're being treated. So anyway, I would encourage you to vote for me. I appreciate the chance to run for county commissioner again in Fremont County, and I would really appreciate a vote on May 17th. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Again, these are the 4 people running for Fremont County Commission. For District 2, we have Commissioner Lee Miller and Larry Singleton. For District 3, we have Val Hammond and Commissioner Jordon Stoddard. The election will be held on May 17th. We would encourage you all to go out and vote. Also, for more information on the other races happening in East Idaho, visit our East Idaho Elects page on eastidahonews.com.